Assalamu alaikum. Good day, Prof. My name is Muhammad Shafi Ali, and this is my individual assignment. This report will highlight and discuss two articles about the impact of financial innovation on money demand in the context of India. The two articles that will be discussed are the impact of financial innovation on the money demand function and empirical verification in India. The second article is money demand function are not so found favorable in the light of financial development. These two articles are written by the same author, Masoodul Hasan Adil, but with different co-authors. Some details about the articles discussed. The article 1 examines the traditional money demand function and discusses some of the shortcomings that traditional money demand function has. The authors of this study argues that some of these shortcomings may be resolved if financial innovation is factored into the money demand function. Masoodul Hasan, 2020, stresses the importance of a reliable money demand function in the successful implementation of a monetary policy to effectively manage the macroeconomic variables such as inflation. But the literature indicates that money demand is rather unstable in many countries during the 1970s. Similarly, the same author, along with some other authors, conducted a similar study in 2022. In the second article, Masoodul Hasan et al. 2022 conducts this study to examine the stability issues of M1 and M3 real money balances of India after financial reforms took place. The investigated period for this study is from Q2 1996 to Q3 2016. Unlike Masoodul's first study in the 2020, the recent study mainly focuses on the importance of a stable money demand function in formulating macroeconomic policy decisions. This study also finds that current monetary policies are shifting their focus from targeting monetary aggregates to targeting inflation through interest rates when formulating monetary policies. Data and methodology used in these two studies. The first study by Masoodul Hasan uses the narrow money M1, broad money M3, real GDP CMR, which is the call rates 10-year government securities of India, NEAR, the exchange rate, nominal exchange rate, CD, which is commercial deposit certificates, and CP, which is commercial papers, and Sensex, which is the Indian stock market index. In his second study, the author uses real money balances of narrow money and broad money, GDP at constant prices, interest rates, exchange rates, stock prices, and financial development. In both the studies, AR real cointegration was employed for the regression analysis. The replication of the empirical study. The second part of the assignment is an attempt to replicate the empirical study of Masoodul Hasan et al., the study he conducted in 2020, which is the first study which I referred in the beginning of this presentation. The original study defined a sample range from 1996 to 2016, with 82 observations in between those two, within that range. This replication the replication study which I did will account a sample range from 2014 quarter 2 to 2022 quarter 1 with 30 observations in total. Every effort is made to reproduce the findings with the updated data and compare the updated results with the findings from the original study. However, some deviations were observed from the updated results and most likely caused by the rapid developments in the financial sector after 2016, which is actually the original sample period. Even though the original study uses two models for M1 and M2, for the replication purposes, only M1 is employed for the study and added two new additional variables for the replicated model. The new M1 model will include the following variables: GDP, interest rates, exchange rates, financial innovation, stock prices and government security, 10-year Indian government security. Compared to the original M1, which is in the original M1, which is in the original study, the M1 does not include stock price and it doesn't include the 10-year Indian government security. But however, in my new model, I was thinking to explore the curiosity of how the model may change, how the results may change or deviate from the original study. Hence, the stock price SP and GSEC10 was incorporated into the M1 model this time. The unit proof test, as you can see, is stationary at the PP first difference. All the variables are stationary at the PP Philip Perron first difference. From the ARDL test, the short-term ARDL test result shows that the M1 model is significant with the addition of the two new variables of CD and CP. The CD and CP represents the financial innovations. So in order to capture the financial innovations, CD and CP are used as the proxies. The R-squared and adjusted R-squared shows a significance of more than 98%. This is further enhanced by the probability F statistics value of 0.00 in the short run, which proves that the significance of M1 equation after factoring in the CD and CP variables. According to the ARDL long run form bound test results, despite of the observed, there are some inconsistencies observed from the ARDL this current ARDL long run bound test and the long run form that was in the original study. Despite of these observed inconsistencies, the ARDL bound test for the long run indicates that the CD and CP variables are shown to be stable in the equation with other variables and thus proving the premise of the study, which is that the M1 money demand equation is stable after factoring the financial innovations. This stability is also supported by the F statistic value of 5.99, which is more than the upper boundary limit of 0.5 at 5% significance, proving that a long-term relationship exists between the dependent variable of M1 and its determinants. To test the perimeter stability of the M1 model, Kusum and Kusum-Q tests were run and the results as seen from these two diagrams, the blue color line, which is the Kusum line, is within the 5% significance in both the situations. In conclusion, the new results did not show a positive relationship with M1 and CD and CP, but the original study showed a positive relationship. Despite of this deviation, the new M1 model showed stability with other variables in the model and therefore the overall model was observed to be stable and proven by the ARDL bound test, Kusum and Kusum-Q tests. Thank you, Professor.